I'm Howell Vancuren. I grew up in Northwest Arkansas. Started working with Joe Howell in 1987. We formed Howell Vancuren in 1992. So we've been in business as Howell Vancuren for over 25 years. This project was a park in downtown Jenks. They needed green space to allow people to get out and gather. Wanted it to have more of a passive feel to it because they didn't want playgrounds and that kind of thing. They wanted it to be multi-use for a variety of events to occur out here. Most people will come here to sit and relax, watch a band play, have a festival type atmosphere with tents and those kinds of things. One of my college professors said, you know, the world, if it were all flat and square, we would have boring design, because usually the design is in the constraints and how you handle those. But this one, with it being a flat parking lot, it really was kind of up to us to create the interest. It's a little different than most of the projects that we take on. It was an opportunity to really kind of expand our thinking to create the interest ourselves. The client was actually an architect, G.S. Helms. We've known him for several years, and he just happened to come up with this project. He had gotten the project from the City of Jenks and brought us in because it really is a very heavy landscape type project. People are becoming more aware of ecology, of the benefits of trees and green space, plus just activity. It's always more fun to have a soft space that you can go walk around in, rather than always being on a trail or a bike path or being limited as to where you can go. We developed several concepts in the beginning for a park type project that the City of Jenks wanted, and then refined those concepts, did working drawings for it, and then once a contractor was selected, we came out and observed construction. We actually had an inter-office design competition and came up with several concepts, took those to Greg, and then we took them to the owner, and they selected the one that they felt fit best. We knew we wanted a more modern appearance. Jenks has an old downtown, but more of a progressive feel as far as the new development occurring around the downtown. So we had the opportunity to look at more modern treatments. We used a lot of grasses of various types, ornamental grasses, to kind of softly define the edges of the park. We chose to make the amphitheater face east, which is a better siding for people observing the show. Much easier to watch a band when you're looking away from the sun in the afternoon. Again, the center portion of the park is pretty much turf. And we're at about the high point of the park right here. As you go west, it begins to slope down just past the next walkway, and to the east it slopes down toward the stage, so a person sitting at this elevation, a person behind them can still see over the top, but they have a good view down in front. Really, there are several things that I feel like are my favorite parts. Really, the detailing of it. The gabion benches probably rank really high. The custom lighting that we can direct as people move around the park. And then just little details like the stone paving across the walks that identify areas where the little button lights are. And then the layout of it. It's laid out along gently curving lines, so the walks that go across it are not straight from one side to the other, but they have a gentle curve to them. What we really like to see happen is for trees to go in over the winter. The new crops of trees are dug somewhere between the 1st of December and the end of February, middle of March. You know, it takes a while for grass to come in and things like that. So That's the thing that I love about landscape architecture is if you do it right, it gets better over time rather than starting to degrade when it's finished. It actually gets better as you move away from that installation date and the trees get larger, the grass gets thicker, and so I've watched it develop over the last couple of years, and I'm anxious to see it grow in for the next 5, 10, 15 years. It's a wonderful place, and I think it'll only get better as the trees grow in and we get more shade on it. I was amazed at how the children really love the texture of the boulders, the ability to climb on them. It's different than a piece of play equipment. I think that's what I get the most good out of, is seeing that the reaction to nature, or our form of nature, by the children really is exciting to watch. We have the opportunity to get out, make the world a prettier place. I feel like landscape architects really ought to be at the forefront of people's planning decisions and attempting to become more in tune with our environment.